The Chimes of Midnight, the 29th Doctor Who Big Finish audio adventure, first released in February of 2002, in roughly 4 parts, or roughly comes up to 4 parts. Now, the 8th Doctor, played by Paul McGann, and his companion, Charlie Pollard, voiced by India Fisher, land in it's really a scullery closet, or larder, basically, in a house in 1906. The house is called Edward Grove, and the people inside the house are getting ready for Christmas. They mainly see them interact with the kind of servants of Edward Grove, as kind of each of them are getting ready for the Christmas season. The servants include the scullery maid, Edith Thompson, voiced by Louise Rolfe, the butler, Mr. Shaughnessy, voiced by Leonard Greaves, Mrs Baddeley, the cook, voiced by Sue Wallace, Frederick, the chauffeur, voiced by Roger Kirbishley, and the lady's maid, Mary, voiced by Juliet Warner. Now, the story does have a particular upstairs-downstairs quality to it, which isn't surprising, especially since 2 of the characters, Mr. Shaughnessy and Mrs. Baddeley, were based off of people who were involved in Upstairs-Downstairs, those being inspired by the script editor of Upstairs-Downstairs, Alfred Shaughnessy, and the actress Angela Baddeley, who played the cook Mrs. Bridges. Hell, even the scullery maid is sort of loosely inspired by Upstairs Downstairs, as it's loosely based on Upstairs Downstairs scullery maid Ruby Finch. However, as the Doctor and Charlie arrive and start looking around the place, there soon occurs a murder. I won't say which one is murdered, but as they kind of go through the night, another person at 11 o'clock will always end up murdered. And then suddenly time resets, and while one murder seemingly remains the same, details of it change. And as the story goes on, it becomes apparent that things are not quite as they seem. And that the actual first murder keeps getting ruled off as suicide, until eventually it's revealed that this person has actually died twice and is in sort of in a state of limbo, and it does actually relate to the Doctor and, well, more specifically, it relates to Charlie. But details of Charlie and her backstory within the Big Finish Whoniverse kind of start to pile up, and as things go on, she becomes a more integral part of the mystery. Now, this is actually a great story to listen to around Christmas time, since it is set in Christmas 1906, and it does, I think, do very well with it. I mean, even just some of the smaller details, like everyone mentioning every few seconds that it wouldn't be Christmas without Mrs. Baddeley's figgy pudding or her plum pudding. It just wouldn't be Christmas without it, which is, it's nice to think about. I mean, especially as things go on and things start to become more and more complicated, you do feel more and more for these people. Like, people start wondering, wait, are we the murderers? Do we have a motive here? But then when things are ultimately revealed as to what's going on, I feel it is one that feels dark but also cheery and slightly disconcerting, the way that it's so cheery around Christmas time with a murder. But at the same time, you generally feel for these characters, and even when they're being kind of evil, they're being kind of comically evil, like upper-class Brits who don't really care about their servants, and their servants are just having a hard time. It really works. So if you need a Doctor Who Big Finish Christmas story to listen to around Christmas time, I'd say you couldn't go wrong with The Chimes of Midnight. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. It's available on Spotify, so yeah, I'd say Chimes of Midnight gets a thumbs up from me. Now, the next Big Finish Doctor Who story that I'd like to be able to review before the year's end is Culbits. What do I think of that one? Well, I'll have to wait and see. And until then, see ya.